Greetings, everyone following along this Advent journey. I'll try to be a little bit quieter because Lisa is dozing off, hopefully. But it is Wednesday, this second week of Advent, and as we continue the theme of practicing honesty, Kathy reflects on the idea of fear today, and she begins the reflection with a quote from Jen Sincero, which says, "Fear will always be there, poised and ready to wreak havoc. But we can choose whether we're going to engage with it or turn on the lights, drown it out, or crawl past it." We all have known fear, and many before me have reflected on the idea that one of the most often used phrases in the scriptures are, "Do not be afraid," which might be comforting in a moment where we're not fearing anything, but in the midst of fear, that doesn't always seem to be comforting. Yet fear is a part of what it is to be human. And Kathy asks us this season, what are we afraid of, and how is that fear keeping you stuck?
So there's, for me, sitting with this question, I was just like, so much. Like, I'm afraid of everything in the age of COVID and climate crisis and this interesting election journey. I think maybe my biggest fear has been that I'm not able to meet the needs of my children and to keep them safe and happy, and the needs of my church on quarantine. I think that leaves me kind of stuck in an over-functioning way with this haunting voice always asking, what else could I be doing? What should I be doing? How could I do this better? Whose needs am I not meeting? Just constantly, almost like a hamster wheel of fears of ways I'm letting people down. And so it takes a lot of work to, like the quote said, turn the lights on, to just kind of breathe through the fear and find presence there. It's hard work, and I'm not going to say I succeed at it on a regular basis, but I'm grateful for the moments I do. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'm just afraid of just so much. Having kids in this current climate is just constantly being afraid of not this the physical ramifications of a pandemic, but just, raising kids in this unjust world, and how do we instill a sense of justice and protect them and put them first and care about our neighbors too. There's so much to fear in all of that. And I think in terms of keeping stuck, fear, so often in smaller ways, when we think of fear, we think of the huge fears, pandemic and illness, but those everyday small fears of stepping out, of doing something outside of our comfort zone, of stepping into something, we might not be sure of. I mean, the gospel indeed compels us to step towards fear in many ways, to step towards things we are afraid of for the sake of our neighbors. So I think fear often keeps me stuck from actually living out the good news of Jesus. But the hope I see in the scriptures and during this Advent season is that it is possible to move forward in spite of the fear, and that it might be baby steps, but every time we're willing to do that, we just might be surprised at the hope that shows up.
What are you afraid of? And how is it keeping you stuck? I invite you to answer those questions, to sit with it, and to turn the light on in the room with your fear and see if you can walk